Hello everyone and welcome back to another Duel Links deck list. Today is Salad Talker, Salad Code Talker, Salamangreat Code Talker, whatever you call it. I call it Salad Talker personally, and thus I'll be referring to it as that in the rest of the video. So we're going to go over the deck itself, going to talk to you about the skill, each individual card, budget alternatives, and, unlike last time, we'll get into the replays, because I haven't done any videos on this, except building it. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. Obviously, we're playing it on Yusaku, and since this is sort of an anime deck, we are skill reliant, so let's begin with the skill. The skill is Code Talker Alive. This skill is pretty necessary. This is the reason why the deck works. It can be used if you have Decode Talker in your extra monster zone. Hardly a requirement. It's not the greatest card in the world, but it's very easy to make. And you set one Recoded Alive from your field from outside of your deck. This means you do not need to play Recoded Alive, which means you can somewhat optimize your deck without need for this, which requires a Link 3 already in existence. And the skill can only be used once per duel if you have a deck that contains at least 12 Cyberse monsters or Signet spell traps, and all monsters in your extra deck have different card names. That second restriction is a bit troublesome. You would think, logically, oh, that cuts off Salamangreat, right? They can't reincarnation Link summon. But that doesn't actually matter that much. The only thing you really lose is Sunlit Wolf's reincarnation effect and the Lady Debug combo. But aside from that, let's just talk about the list. So we'll start off, we're playing one copy of Link Slayer. This card is pretty damn good going first, and it's decent going second, and it's also really good going second. It's just a free special summon. You summon this card, you're always guaranteed another material, so you can go into Decode easier. You can go into Decode straight from your Salad part of your combo. It's super useful, and also you can discard 2 to destroy 2 spell traps on the field, which is also pretty good. Very potent going second. And you can really make use of it if you have an empty board, so you can actually specialize. It does become a bit of a dud if you don't have an empty board, if you have any monsters, like your opponent has bleed you for some reason, or mind you can tribute it, but it's much better normals, let's be real. Instead, you can just use it as discard fodder, because we have some of that. Next up, we're playing one Salamangreat Gazelle. Gazelle is the key Salamangreat card. It is super good. If you play Salad, if you faced Salad, you'll know how powerful this card truly is. If a Salamangreat monster is sent to the graveyard, by any means, except itself, you can special summon the card from your hand. And if this card is normal or special summon, you can send one Salamangreat monster from your deck to the graveyard, except itself. And it's a hard once per turn, but it's not a shared once per turn, which means you can activate both effects on the same turn. This card is super good. It's limited to 1 for a reason. Hard copied at 1, and it was still too powerful, so they had to limit it to cut you off from Roar, because Salamangreat Roar is blatantly too powerful. Yeah, this card is super good. It really helps you start your plays. It can also help you extend your plays on the crackback. We're also playing a Lady Debug. This searches basically all of your Cyberse cards. I mean, there are some that it can't search, but it can search a lot. It searches Code Talker, it searches Gazelle, which is really all you need it for. It also searches Mir, if you want a free special, or any other Cyberse. It gets Backup Secretary, it gets so many cards. And we're only playing 1, because it's limited to 3, along with another very important card. And this does take up your normal, if you want it out, so it is sort of slightly worse, even though it can grab more stuff. We're also playing one Jack Jaguar. This is sort of our Garnet. Some people won't see it as that, I will, but Signet Mining is impeccably searchable, so it's just a free discard, really. Basically, it gives piercing battle damage to everything, if you control a Salamangreat Link monster, which you basically almost always will. And while it's in your graveyard, you can target a Salamangreat monster in your graveyard, except itself. Shuffle that target back into the deck, and if you do special summon this card to a zone your Salamangreat Link monster points to, it's a hard one per turn. That means that Sunlight Wolf gets its trigger effect. You can recycle some of your guys, which sometimes can be a bit annoying, like trying to figure out which monster, but if you had to discard to get, like, first say you had mining, you discarded like maybe foul to get gazelle, then you do your combo, you could use Jaguar to get foul back into the deck. It also works with Sunlight Wolves. If for some reason you have Sunlight Wolf in the graveyard, you won't really in this build that much, let me be honest, but it's more useful in base Salad. Anyway, we're also playing one copy of Mathmech Edition. It does lock you into Cyburst, but apart from that, perfect card. You target a monster on the field, it gains 1000 attack, and if you do, special summon this card. Yeah, you're locked into Cyburst, but if you're paying a little bit of attention, that only cuts you out of one extra deck monster, and that's not even an engine, that's an out of engine extra deck card. So yeah, super powerful. It can help you push for game with 1000 extra attack. You can target your opponent's card if you need to. You won't though, you'll always target your own. It's a fire Cyburst, which means it works perfectly with the Salamangreat. It's a Salad, except in name, which is fine. That's all you need for their summoning departments is fires. Look, fire. Back on the Salads, we're playing one Foxy. Foxy excavates 3, adds an excavated Salamangreat card from your deck to your hand, and then shuffle the rest back to the deck. That's a really good effect. It's a really good normal summon. Not as good as Debug, I think, but in this deck, it's a good normal summon. And also, this is a shared hard once per turn, which means you can't activate the first effect and the second in the same turn. It has to be different turns. But if there's a face-up, if this card is in the graveyard and a face-up spell trap is on the field, you can discard a Salamangreat card to special summon it. Then you can destroy a face-up spell trap, which you won't normally do because your face-up is generally going to be the field spell, and we don't want to destroy our field spell really. So we don't do that. But if your opponent has any continuous cards, Fiendish Chain, Crackdown, yada yada yada, it becomes super useful. Orcust, if they're playing the Babel variant, Foxy can just pop Babel. Yeah, that grave effect's pretty damn useful, honestly. And we can send him to grave super easily through Gazelle, and oh my god, it's great. I'll just finish off the Salad. We're playing one Falco. Falco can recycle itself from the graveyard by returning a Salamangreat from your graveyard to your hand. And on a shared card once per turn, if it's sent to the grave, you can also set a Salamangreat spell or trap to your field from your graveyard. This resets your field spell, it resets your circles, anything else you're playing. It's a really good card to send, and also it's got a pretty good grave effect. It even has a little combo with Salamangreat Mirror. Speaking of which, playing one of him, if he's added to your hand, you can special summon him. You can also discard another card to discard another Salamangreat, to special summon it. This works super well with Falco. It's got a little combo there. When you discard Falco, then use Falco's effect to return Mirror to your hand. Then not only do you have Falco on the field, but you have Mirror. So you just go neutral and card advantage. Pretty cool. He can be useful just if you need just one more monster, one more extender. And the last of the Salamangreats in the main deck, for monsters anyway, we're playing a Salamangreat Foul. Foul is pretty useful, honestly. If a Salamangreat summoned, special summon it for free. It also has a grave effect. It also has another effect. You can only special summon it through that effect once per turn. You can send one Salamangreat card from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard, then target a spell trap your opponent controls. That set card cannot be activated this turn. Not a bad grave effect. Not the greatest grave effect. Not grave effect, sorry. Just second effect. Not the greatest. But it can be useful if you need one of your Salads in the graveyard, just need to dump one. You can then render a back row useless. So yeah, pretty neat. That's almost it for the monsters. We also have 2 copies of Microcoder. Microcoder is really what helps the Code Talker aspect of this deck shine through, because it can be used for link material for a Code Talker monster from your hand instead of on the field. So 1 monster equals Code Talker, 2 monsters equal Decode Talker, or link 2 equals Decode, as long as this card's in your hand. It is a hard once per turn on that effect, which is not the greatest, but whatever. And in addition to that, depending on how it's sent to the graveyard, it gets another effect. If it was sent as link material, by the way, if it's sent from hand, you can add any Signet card from your deck to your hand. Or if it's sent from field, you can instead add a level 4 Cyberburst monster from your deck to your hand, which is a good effect. It does alleviate the discard from Cynet mining, which in most cases is good. Obviously there's some where you might have drawn your Jack Jaguar, but you don't really get that effect too much. It's mostly the hand effect that you see. Hard ones per turn. You only use each effect hard ones per turn, so, you know, I hope. But it is super good for the Code Talker aspect. We're only playing 2. I'll talk more about ratios on that later. But yeah, it's a really, really good card, and it searches Cynet cards. Speaking of which, Cynet. We're playing 2 Cynet mining. You can easily bump this up to 3. When you can send a card to the graveyard, any card from your hand, to add a level 4 or lower Cyberburst from your deck to your hand. That's amazing. It grabs everything except Link Slayer. Mirror is a free special, and it's super amazing. Every Cyberburst deck runs it. It is super, super good. I don't think I need to explain to you how good the card is, because you can read it and you can come up with the implications by yourself. It's just Rota with a discard. Oh. Anyway, we're also playing a Cynet Crosswipe. You contribute a Cyberburst monster, target one monster on the field, destroy it. We can very easily get monsters on the field. This also works with your skill very well, because you contribute Decode Talker, and then your trap is still online. Since it doesn't need to banish from field, it can banish from the graveyard instead. Didn't talk about the trap too much. I'll go back and do that actually. But yeah, Crosswipe is super good. It's just almost free destruction, because if there's one thing Cyberburst decks can do, it's special summon monsters to the field. Yeah, and we have almost infinite access to it thanks to Microcoder. We can almost always see it. See it. If we don't need Cynet mining, we grab Crosswipe. You know. We're also playing some Salad cards. Here's our limit 3s. Salamangreat Circle. It has a second effect, which is completely dead in this build of the deck, so I'm not even going to read it. But you can add a Salamangreat card from your deck to your hand, hard once per turn. It's amazing. Yeah, it just adds any salad, which again, it gets Mirror. It can be just anything. Most of the time it grabs Gazelle. You can also grab Mirror, Falco if you really need it. Foxy if you want that. Yeah, amazing. We're also playing one Salamangreat Sanctuary. Personally, I don't see too much use in this card. It just helps you relink, and you could pay 1,000, reduce one of your link monsters' attack to 0, and if you do, gain life points equal to its original attack. I personally don't see the use in that effect. It's great, its relink effect's useless, but it is always searchable. You've always got it, and I mean always. So it's just free discard material for mining, really. That's how I see it personally. Or a free salad card to discard through Foul. It can help Foxy's Grave effect, so yeah. It is pretty good. And then I'm also playing 2 copies of Book of Moon. I chose, instead of running more engine, to run some staples, and I chose Book of Moon because it's probably the best in this format. It shuts down everything. Honestly, it's super, super, super good. And yeah, you need Book of Moon to compete, let's be honest. And I hate to admit that, but, you know, I'm right. Yeah, 2 Book of Moon. It's just a staple slot. This can be any staple. Now, onto the extra deck. We're playing 1 Firewall Dragon. Firewall Dragon is really good in this deck. If it's co-linked, you can return a monster from the field or grave to the hand, up to the number of monsters co-linked. Normally it's only 1, but a free disruption doesn't even target. It does target, but it's a quick effect, bounce to the hand, which means extra deck monsters go back to deck. You can also use it to your own advantage by recouping your graveyard, which is pretty good, and 2,500 attack. Also, by the way, that's once on field, which is, yeah, not the greatest, but... And if a monster discard points to destroy the battle or sent to the graveyard, special summon a Cyberburst from your hand. That effect doesn't crop up too much in my playing with the deck, but it is a useful effect. Really good. Yes, we play a Firewall. We're playing 1 Nightmare Unicorn. This is our only non-Cyberburst, and it's Nightmare Unicorn. Should I need to explain it? If I do, if it's co-linked when it's summoned, you can draw a card. That alleviates the discard cost, because if you because you can discard a card to spin a card back to the deck when it's like summoned. Yeah, really good. I don't. Oops, shit. Oopsies. Yeah, super good. I don't know why you wouldn't play it apart from the fact that it's not a Cyberse. Maybe that's an argument. As for our Code Talkers, we're playing Decode Talker. We need it for the skill, and gains 500 for every monster points to, and if a card targets, you contribute a card to negate it. So, you know, not bad. It's just Decode Talker. We're also playing Shooting Code Talker because it's probably the best of the Code Talkers we have. Basically, it can attack everything, and on the last monster, if it attacks the only monster your opponent controls after using the effect, it loses, I believe, it loses 400 attack there, which is weird. And then during the end of the battle phase, you draw cards equal to the number of monsters you destroyed. Destroyed by battle this turn. Which is it's a strange effect because you need to activate it at the start of the battle phase, so you can just not, and it's just 2300 meter. But yeah, it's decent enough for board destruction. Addition can be used really well with it because it then becomes 33, and then it goes down to 29 instead of 19. So really good. And then we're also playing a Code Talker to affect monsters. It's mostly here for microcoder combos, just to help you link climb super fast. It's not a good card on its own. We're just playing it because of how generic it is, and it's a Code Talker monster. Then we're playing Link 4, Rastaliger. It's access Code Talker at home. If you don't know, you can target a Link monster in either player's graveyard, so if your opponent has one stronger than you, you can just steal theirs. And it gains attack equal to that target's attack until the end of the turn. Also, you contribute any number of monsters card points to destroy an equal amount of cards on the field. That effect is actually somewhat useful. By the time I bring it out, normally I don't use that effect, but it will generally have around 4300 attack from your Code Talkers. You can also use Firewall if he's in the grave. Yeah. And as for our salads, you probably eyed them out. 1 Veil Links and 1 Sunlight Wolf. Veil Links just add Sanctuary from your deck to your hand. That's all he really does. On the field anyway, because you can banish him from the graveyard to prevent your Salamangreat monster from being destroyed. Super good. Or Salamangreat card, so they're going to pop the field spell and you want to keep it for some reason. And then Sunlight Wolf, the real powerhouse of the Salamangreat deck, let's be honest. And the powerhouse of this deck. It requires 2 fire effect monsters, and if a monster is normal or special summon to a zone this card points to, you can add a fire from your graveyard back to your hand. But you cannot normal summon or special summon the monster with the added monster's name during the rest of the turn. Yeah. And then it has its relink effect to add a Salamangreat spell trap, which is useless because we can't relink it in this deck. But that's it for the deck. I better go over Code Talker Alive real quick. Recoded Alive targets a Link 3 Cyberse Link monster. That's funny. You control or in your graveyard. Banish it if you do special summon a Code Talker monster from your extra deck. If you control no monsters in the extra monster zone, you banish this card from your graveyard, target one of your banished Code Talker monsters, special summon it. Very good to just set for free. Not as good to main deck it. I'm sure I can see a reason why you would want to, but you know, really good on the skill. Now comes an interesting part, budget options. This deck is interesting because it's sort of budget. It doesn't require 3 of any single card really, but the extra deck is quite vast, sort of. I'll get into it. Link Slayer, Microcoder, and that's it, are both found in the structure deck, Cyberse Code, which you can only buy one of with gems. So, a budget option could be to just remove them, a Code Talker, replace it with something like a backup secretary. Mathmech Edition, he's sort of here for just any special summon. He's found in Chronicles of Glory, which is kind of random, but I'm also pretty confident he's in a mini bot. He's in a super mini. I might be wrong about that one. However, I don't know. Addition, you don't need Addition specifically. You can use any number of Cyberse cards. I don't think I can't physically express to you how many they have. My main thought is Backup Secretary. You can use Sea Archiver, Dotscaper is another one. I would consider building it. with Dotscaper. Jack Jaguar, Gazelle, Foxy, Sunlight Wolf, and Bale Lynx, as well as Sanctuary, are all free cards from either Soul Burner's drops or Soul Burner's level ups. So just play a lot of Soul Burner and you'll have all those Salad cards. Mir, Falco, and Fowl are all found in Link Revolution, and you can probably guess Decode Talker is as well. Yeah, that's where Decode is. And Signet Mining, as well as Crosswipe and Circle. Also Lady Debug, so it's basically the whole main deck is either free or found in there. This card is a sort of a generic. An alternative you could do is, if I go to Microcorder real quick here, is Signet Backdoor. This card is also found in Link Revolution. It's also in Cyber's Code, which is neat. Yeah, Signet Backdoor. Honestly, you could probably get away with not playing it. I don't, and I think the deck works perfectly fine. I don't really like this card that much. And I'm pretty sure during the replays, I actually switched it out for the Book of Moons. But you can play this instead. It's a normal. It's super, super easy. Code Talker is interesting because if you weren't here for the login bonus, it's a really high level. So that's a bit dodgy. As you see, I was here for the login bonus, but I don't actually have another one, which is dodgy. But I know this is a bit scattershot and where to find everything, but now we can sort of find out it. Firewall Dragon and Nightmare Unicorn are both found in Future Circuit. Firewall, another main box. And the main boxes aren't done yet because Rastaliger, one of my favorite cards, is found in Raiders Requiem. He's a super though, not an ultra. But as an ultras go, Shooting Code Talker is found in Stage of Trickstar. But that's it for where to find everything. As for budget alternatives, it's interesting because the extra deck is sort of weird. You will probably need to buy the structure deck anyway, so a budget alternative would be Encode Talker. It would be Encode Talker. He would be budget alternative to Shooting Code Talker because it's in the structure deck. Link Slayer at 1, that's fine, the structure deck. You could cut a microcoder as well if you're a free-to-play player. Easily just cut the microcoder. Then that's super easy. You can cut a Signet Mining and just main deck 3. What's it called? What was it? Signet Backdoor. Should you need to. You can also play, I wouldn't recommend this, but if you're playing 3 Code Talkers, you can, I completely forgot it, you can play Limit Code, which I used playing Code Talker. Yeah, you can just special summon a Code Talker from your extra deck for free. You can play this if you're playing like Power Code Talker, who is another free card, and I might as well show you. Power Code Talker, he's special summonable, he has Negate on him, decent enough. Difficult to bring out on his own because he requires just 3 monsters, but he also just requires 3 monsters, so there's your budget alternatives. He's in Yusaku's level up rewards. But the extra deck, I don't really have too much. Right now, we're still sort of in Link Monsters infancy, so there's not many good free ones. Unfortunately, I mean, Firewall isn't necessary. Neither's Nightmare Unicorn, but both of them are found in Future Circuit. You can easily cut Rastaliger, and you can play stuff like Honeybot, Gaia Charger, which are generic free Link monsters. If you would want to Pentastag, there's a lot of Link monsters, and also, since you're going into Link Revolution, instead of not, you could play Heatleo. Where is it? Heatleo, who is a Link 3. The boss monster, the Salamangreat archetype, as of right now in Duel Links. So you could play this guy instead, if you really wanted to. Main deck, I feel like I've already covered it. Just sort of generic Cyber's tools, stuff like Cyber's Wizard is in Playmaker's level ups, and Backup Secretary. I do not recall what the other one's called. Backup. Yep, here it is. You could also play Backup Operator, who is a Playmaker drop. Here's Backup Secretary. Super good, free special. Backup Operator is also kind of a free special, but it's a bit more complicated. But that's really it that I have for budget options. So, without further ado, let's get into some replays, shall we? Now let's just go over. That's the. I was in the right column. I was in the right place. Ah. Yeah. Favorite replays. Now, there are 4 replays we're gonna watch. I have learned one important lesson about this deck, is that it really struggles against OTK decks, which you will see here. Not decks that can just get out huge monsters. It really struggles against those decks. This was, by the way, 4 games in a row. I won 3 of them, which I was honestly quite shocked at. I'm pretty sure I won 3 of them. This is how we will win. This was this morning. We don't draw that good, which also didn't help. And he's going first. He's obviously Utopia, which we struggle against because, yeah, they can get out huge monsters. Really massive pain in the ass. It didn't help that we drew terribly. Yeah, he summons number 39 Utopia with Bancho Gagagako and some other stuff. Honestly, I wasn't really paying attention. You can see what's happening. He's also playing Tactics. That's a new one. He has Lightning Blade, which I have never seen anyone else play in my life. You don't play Lightning Blade, you play Tornado Bringer. Anyway, you see summons Chaos 39, and then he overlays Exchange Tactics with another draw. He overlays it again into Utopia the Lightning, which is annoying, especially since he equips it with Lightning Blades. We cannot out this, and we will try. We have to normal summon Falco in order to circuit off for Bale Links. Bale Links and Code Talker go for... Microcoder go for Code Talker. Microcoder adds Cyanite Mining. You see, this is when we were playing Backdoor. Book of It would be much better right now. We add Addition. This, I think, was the game that forced me into it, because I was like, if I book him and I just book him. Right, he's not untargetable. I can just book him, then destroy him with Frostbite. Anyway, we look to summon off for Decode Talker, get our skill up, just to try to wall up. Yeah. See, this is why you play Book of Moon, kids. Zexal turns on. He activates Automatic Pickup. Gets Automatic Para because he is rich, apparently. This card is a UR in a selection box. Mans is rich. That really has one and he got lucky. I never checked. He adds Gagaga Sister and Bancho Gagagako. He normal summons Gagaga Sister, adds Gagaga Bolt, activates Gagaga Bolt, which forces us to change Decode to Live to banish Decode Talker from our graveyard, special summon shooting Code Talker out from our deck. Sorry, extra deck. Then he special summons Bancho Gagagako. He activates Exo with Ignite. There's Exo, sorry. Sending Sister to the graveyard for Gagaga. Gagaga Girl, sorry. Sea summons Utopia. And we just scoop because it's not worth it. Yeah. So that was how the deck struggles and why you should play Book of Moon. Next replay. Yeah, it can struggle quite a bit. Rank's gotten a bit better, by the way, when I recorded this. A few days ago it was, oh my god, it's a nightmare. But OTK decks are everywhere. Anyway, we're playing Ubel, she's playing Sacred Beasts on a 9-win streak. Don't know how that happened. Well, probably just got really lucky. Anyway, we draw Link Slayer, which is interesting. I special summon Link Slayer. By the way, that was the wrong zone. If I summoned him here, that would have been better. We just use Circle anyway, grab Gazelle, normal summon Mir, link it off for Bale Links. This will then trigger Gazelle to summon itself. As you see here, and this is when I placed the Book of Moons, if you didn't notice. Special summon Gazelle, we get Sanctuary naturally. Discard fodder in my eyes. We send Jack Jaguar to the graveyard, then we link someone off for Sunlight Wolf. Use Jack Jaguar's effect, return Mir to the deck. Special summon it to the zone this guy points to. Activate Sunlight Wolf, grab Gazelle back. Set a card and end our turn. I don't really want to record it live yet. Anyway, Cosmics, the book, which is fine. Sets 2, passes. It's our turn. We draw Foxy. Activate Link Slayer, get both those out. Ice Dragon Prison, annoying, but you know what, we can deal with it. Since we summon Gazelle, now Gazelle's effect, send Falco, and he just surrenders before we can Decode Talk her. Since you can actually activate Recorder Live the turn you set it, what you can do is battle phase, decode attack, then change it for a shooting code. Anyway, next up, pretty sure he wasn't playing Armed Dragon, by the way. And then it says Chaz. An empty deck box. Oops. Don't ask why I have an empty deck box. He's playing Grandpa Muto, and I think the best way to describe this was level 2 Beast. Yeah, not the greatest. We draw pretty good, honestly. I mean, we could have asked for more. Nope, never mind, this was Thunder Dragon. But Thunder Dragon have a huge problem. They can't play any hand traps except Sphere Karibo and Base Karibo. And those aren't that good, for being honest. Sphere's alright, I guess. But like the good ones you want, which is Veil and Kiteroid, Thunder Dragon are locked off from playing them, thanks to Lens. Anyway, you can see what we're doing. We normally summon Falco, Link summon Lynx, get Gazelle, Sanctuary, maybe do Foul, send Jack. It's a standard salad line, honestly. Get Sunlight Wolf out, Jack Jaguar, summon get Falco, summon Jack, Gazelle. I don't know, it's standard. Anyway, here's Sunlight Wolf and Microcorder going off for Decode. Appear, Link 3, Decode Talker. Microcorder grab a Silent Mining, you have to record live. Link summon both of those for Firewall Dragon. Very powerful card. Then we flip Record Live to get rid of Decode to summon a Shooting Code Talker. And now we use Addition. Addition will give Firewall some extra attack. We activate Mining, grab Mirror. That will look like a special summon Mirror. Right here. Then we link both those off into a Code Talker, because we can. And we enter battle. Activate Shooting Code's effect to draw in case he got something out somehow. But yeah, we win. That was how we won against Thunder Dragon. Yeah. Next game, and the final game. This was the Level 2 Beasts. That I remember. Playing Grandpa. Yeah, 2 Grandpas in a row. That was weird. I'm not futzing with these. These are genuine replays. If I wanted to really show the deck off, I would like you to ranked replays. Those give you a much better idea of how the deck can actually play in a real environment, because I pick the best replays. Anyway, we draw very good. Normal summon Gazelle, unfortunate, but it's worth it. Then Jackie, summon Veil Links, then we special summon Foul. Obviously Veil Links add Sank. Foul special summon itself. Then we link both those off for Salamangreat, Sunlight Wolf. Get Jack Jaguar, return Foul back to deck to special summon it. Because we want to keep Veil Links' Grave Effect. Return him to the hand. Then we summon Code Talker here. Forgot that I played like this. Microcorder adds Silent Mining. We then activate Mining. Grab Addition. Addition gives our little mana boost. Link summon both those off for Decode Talker. Here, Link 3, Decode Talker. Record the live, set Crossbite, and end our turn. He sets 2 and a back row. We get the first card he set, which is Ice Dragon's Prison, thank God. Anyway, we drew Link Slayer, so that's useless. But we do get Gazelle out, send Falco. Falco just returns the field spell, which is fine. Summon Firewall Dragon. Get out Recorder Live. And we take a bit of a gamble here. I activate Firewall Dragon to return the monster, and we just go for as much damage as we can here, which is fine because we win. I don't know what that set card was. I think it was Melfi Tang, and you can infer the rest of the deck from there. So yeah, that was our replays, and right before we close out, I would like to say one really budget alternative, instead of playing this deck, is to just play Salamangreat. Let me be honest. Ignore that. Just play Salamangreat, honestly. If you don't want to buy the structure deck, you can just play Salamangreat instead of this. But I think this deck has its own merits versus Salamangreat and Code Talker. It has the ability that Code Talker has to bring out some quite powerful monsters turn 1. It has a bit of staying power and some annoyance with Firewall and Code to Live. It doesn't have Salamangreat's hold on the game, but it does have the resource advantage that they can generate. So I think it's better than Code Talker on the same level as base Salamangreat. That's in my opinion though. This video is quite long, so I'll just be cutting it here. Yeah, hope you enjoyed, and watch the deck building I did on this, where I built the deck for the first time. I just tell I've become really accustomed to it, and I really like it. Anyway, see ya.